Hello and welcome to the Money Mindset Mentors podcast. My name is Laura Lee Kenny, and I live in New Brunswick, Canada. And for the past year, I just passed my first year anniversary of doing this podcast. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be a podcast host. But someone suggested it a couple of years ago. And then when I got onto this wonderful platform, there was no extra cost. So I thought, okay, I need to learn to be speaking in public more. And this is a great practice. And I have had the most fun and enjoyment meeting different mentors in different categories that share what has happened to them in their life, how they have up-leveled their story. And it's mainly businesses because that's what I promote, our business mentors. But sometimes we may have the occasional person that isn't in business for themselves. But today, a little bit about me for the people that don't know. Oh, I'm a baby boomer, so I've been hanging out here on this earth for a long time, and a lot has changed over the years. Um, some of the terminology that we used to use when I was a youngster is not the same anymore. So much has happened, and especially with the internet and all of this wonderful global connections that we can do because of the internet has changed my life considerably. I'm sure it's changed yours. I grew up in a family of 12 children. I'm one of the oldest, so there was a lot of responsibilities put on me very young. I like to say I'm a pioneer. I'm from the pioneer group. In many ventures that I'm involved with, it seems like that's what they call us. So I'll affectionately adopt that name. Now, my first career, I had 25 years as a skincare and cosmetic consultant. And at the height of my career, I had 123 representatives underneath me. I got hurt in a car accident. And 3.5 years later, by the time recovery, and apparently that's average, as I learned in my next career, we had no money left over. We were farther in debt. It was a young couple that was married and 2 children. Nothing left in the reserves. So someone offered me a chance to someone came to the house and wanted me to consider hiring them to invest in our RSPs. And I talked to them a little bit, and I was like, oh, you have some of that information wrong. And she's like, no. So I said, I think you better check. So she called her supervisor, and he said, the woman's correct. That isn't right. She said, how do you know that? I said, well, I know how to do income tax. And what you were telling me could have given me a big fine. So the owner of the branch asked if I would go to a meeting. Long story short, they offered me a position, and then I had to go back to school to become at that point. At first, it was to get in investments as a mutual fund representative. I looked at this and I thought, I made so many mistakes growing up. I didn't have any guidance other than Dad would say, put half your money away. Well, that never happened. Let me tell you, I'm too good for the economy. I didn't have the mindset for that. And I didn't have anybody. So when I got a little bit of money, I joyfully spent it. Thankfully, I didn't have a credit card when I was younger to get me in trouble. They weren't common then. Anyway, as time went along, I realized I wanted to specialize in retirement planning. And that's what I did. I became a certified financial planner, and I worked mainly with retirees. And I did some stuff that was very unique as a female. This would have been 27 years ago. Working with retirees for pension, and most of my clients were male, and they were 20 to 30 years older than me, and nobody could figure out how that happened. I just asked for the business. Lo and behold, sometimes if you asked, they had to feel comfortable with me. But that being said, that led me on quite a career path. And I stayed there, and I planned on doing that actually for more than 25 years. But I had this download one day that I was to teach financial literacy to young adults and mindset. And I was like, oh, but how am I going to do this? This isn't the COVID's happening. I don't know. I just can't even imagine. Anyway, long story short, I asked for help again, and some people were put in my path. In fact, I think it was then that I met one of the ladies that is here today with us. I feel like we've known each other like we're sisters from another mother. So help me. We just feel like we've just been in sync from day one. Anyway, I'd like to introduce you to two hosts today, special guests today. And they're called D squared because one is named Diane and the other one is Danielle. And they've joined together to take all of the knowledge that they have from all the business ventures that they have. And let me tell you, some really exciting things. And I'm super excited about one of the topics we're going to talk about today, because when I first got into financial planning, I went to a Tony Robbins event in Halifax and bought Get the Edge program with the CDs and I even have a DVD, a VHS part of it besides the books. But these two wonderful ladies have such knowledge to share with you. And I'm going to first introduce Diane, and then I'm going to let Diane introduce Danielle. Diane, I know that you love to teach people how to sell with a heart. Would you like to tell how many years? I know that you've been in business a long time.
Yeah.
Let's tell everyone a little bit about you and your journey.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Laura Lee, for having us here. And yes, ever since we've met each other, which was just a few years ago, it seems like we've known each other forever. So you know that I feel the same way. I love everything that you do and how you do it. And I think that's probably one of the things why we connected so quickly is, you know, we both do business from a really authentic place and from our hearts. And what I do is, and I've been doing this, I'll say, for over 30 years. But I've been sales training and a sales coach. I started out in corporate, but quickly started my own business, my own consulting and then coaching business, because I really saw a lot of people, business owners and entrepreneurs, just struggling with selling their own services. So they loved what they were doing, but they weren't able to get out there and sell their products. So I really help entrepreneurs kind of put it all together and come up with languaging and the kind of messaging that really makes sense and really brings people to them rather than out chasing people. So yeah, as you know, Laura Lee, I love sales. I love selling. And it's really been a passion of mine. And I'm able to do that in so many different ways. And connecting with Danielle has just been a true blessing. And grateful to have met her not very long ago. And then we created D Squared Coaching.
Oh, I knew about Danielle before I met her, probably about 6 months or so. Diane said lots of wonderful things about you. But I'm going to let you tell a little bit more about Danielle.
Okay, I will. So yeah, Danielle and I, we actually met, and Laura Lee knows as well, like I'm a real Tony Robbins fan. And a number of years ago, I was introduced to Dean Graziosi, who is a partner of Tony's. And he's marketing and just they're both brilliant in everything they do. They're experts in their field, and they have just so much to offer. And I was given an opportunity to become part of a small high-level mastermind group in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the mastermind headquarters, and Dean Graziosi was the one leading it. And in that room was Danielle. And although we didn't really speak that much the first time, we were kind of thrown together in a way that really showed what she was made of, and also what I was made of in a very short amount of time, because we were running a summit with 13 or 14 other coaches, and Danielle was one that stepped up. We had similar mindset, we had similar work ethic, we had the same kind of feeling about wanting to help people in a way that really made sense. And so when I found out about her background, she's more recent than me, is a corporate escapee. So she's left the corporate world where she was extremely successful, high level, big money, like lots of huge responsibility. And she has started a coaching and consulting business. And that's kind of where we decided we should be working together. So she's really helps like business coaching, strategy, at a really high level, and she's exceptional at what she does. So about a year ago, we joined forces and created D Squared Coaching, and it's been phenomenal. So we've done, some courses, and we've got clients. We do one-on-one clients, and we just started a mastermind, a mastermind of our own. So yeah, it's been amazing working with Danielle.
Oh, I bet it has. Danielle, you tell a little bit more about your own background and why you changed, if you want.
Sure. First of all, Laurie, thank you for bringing me on with Diane. And like you, I was told about you a long time before we actually met. So it was destined to be. And I believe that, just like you said, you asked for clients and they were put in front of you. I think we meet people along our road, personally, business wise, entrepreneurial, the right people, the right synergy. And that's what I have with Diane from that room. That's how I met you. You were the right person put in front of me. And I think it's an amazing journey. But Diane's correct. I was for 15 years a corporate executive in a $4 billion company running about 170 locations. And I built a team of 450 employees. And yeah, I kept being handed business divisions, but I took business divisions from, I don't know, $50,000 a year to over 50 million a year.
Wow, that gives me goosebumps.
I know. Well, yeah, me too, but it nearly killed me. And I had a stroke and I almost died. And it was a lot of travel, a lot of stress. I didn't know how to say no. I was all over the place and nowhere one place, right? And I realized that I was in that leadership role because I never believed I was a manager. I'm just a leader. And I was really a coach. And like both of you, I started with Tony. I started with Tony in arenas, and I think I was in his one event that he ever had in Atlanta live. He's never been back since. And then just like Diane, I was introduced to Dean Graziosi, and I became certified with Brendan Burchard, certified with Tony as a coach, followed Dean and launched my own business because I realized that leadership for me in those 15 years really meant I was a coach, not just for my own team, but for the 1.9 million clients that we had. So I was coaching them to where they wanted to go. And that's my passion.
That's wonderful. When you know your passion, that's what keeps you going from the days, because let's face it, some days are harder than others, but that's what keeps us going. That's what gets us up in the morning to get up early. I don't think in this last almost 2 years, because I changed almost 2 years ago in my plan to it's one thing getting the message, another thing transitioning the message. I don't believe I ever got up so early and consistently. Like one morning it said, I think it was a Sunday morning, it was 7:30 and I was still in bed. He woke up and he went, "How come you're still here?" I said, "Well, it's Sunday, you know." He said, "It doesn't matter. Normally you're up and gone." That it has driven me to have such passion for something. And I had no idea how I was about to go and do some of these things that I feel compelled to do. And I never knew, probably until, to be honest, even though I met Tony a long time ago, and it definitely wasn't an arena in Halifax for me. It's like, I was like, that was the first event I had ever been to like that. Like, I'd been to conferences, but never something like that. But I didn't understand how important it was for the mindset. Like, I remember the first person that said this to me, it was Peggy McCall. She said to me, "Lorley, you're an unconscious competent." And I looked at her and I went, I don't even know what that means. But it was true that I could do things, but I didn't know how to be able to articulate that and help other people to have the same results. Well, that'd be interesting to learn how to do that. Hence, further education with it. But I've had a chance to meet Danielle for a little bit, a few times, and you have such a smooth way. I've seen people, you'd say they're going to put them on the hot seat. Well, I've never seen anybody get such loving in the hot seat before. You just have such a gracious way of guiding people to see a different way of doing something. And it's just lovely, because sometimes when people get to be coaches, they're just like, "Urgh." I'm so used to the men around. And I love Dean so much. Like, I resonate more with him because he's smoother. He's kinder. He's more gentle. I shouldn't say he's kinder, but he's more gentle in his approach. So that's what I love more about him. And I've got several of his books and done many courses with him in addition, never to the stage to get certified with him or with Tony as far as that. My mind just never even went that far. But I can remember in the late 80s, I was on a plane and I opened up the magazine, and inside the magazine was a picture of Bob Proctor. And I ripped that page out of that, and I went, someday I'm going to study with this man. And I was so blessed to have a little bit of his audience. But I got a lot of his audience via Peggy McCall when I had joined her Diane coaching. But I love you. The two of yous are, if people happen to look on the left-hand side, they'll see some links. For the top part, it shows a picture of us for the Mindset Podcast. But if you click onto it, it's a link to Danielle and Diane's coaching. The second one is a link to a calendar if you want to set up a meeting with the two of them. And the third one down is a link to a new event that is coming up. Would one of you like to talk about the event?
Diane, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Yeah, I always love talking about the opportunities that we have that come out of kind of our years of experience, but also what we've been doing with Tony and Dean over the last few years. So I've been a strategic partner of theirs, which means I help to promote products. I've been a moderator in some of their events. I'm in some of the brochures. They use quotes and all that sort of thing. So it's pretty exciting. When you have access to people who are your mentors and who are experts in the industry. And when I met with Danielle, I found out that she had an even more in-depth connection with Tony and Dean because, and I'll let her speak about it, but she's been a moderator. She's also been promoting their products and their services and these events. And so every event they ever have, I'm a willing participant. I'm there every day. I'm there cheering on. Laura Lee knows we've had groups on the side kind of to make sure that we're all getting the most out of it. And if somebody missed a day, we're sharing our notes and information. So Danielle and I have decided this year to team up as D Squared and promote together this amazing 3-day event that's coming up. And it's called The Game Has Changed. And really what we know about behind the scenes, the game really has changed. Like this, we've gone to a bunch of events and believe me, they're all great. There's always golden nuggets of information that I take away every single time. not only for my business, but for my client's business. But this one, there's some huge things going on, and you'll want to be there for the 3 days. Stuff about AI, technology, the industry, knowledge industry, the economy, where things are going, just incredible information. So we're super excited to be part of it. We're also excited to be sharing it. And because we have a special dedicated link that allows us to share it with people like all of you to come along with us and share this with us, we're adding some extra bonuses. And maybe Danielle can talk a little bit about bonuses that we're doing.
Yes, I didn't know about that.
I know, some surprises.
Look, Diane's absolutely right. I mean, I've been with Dean for a long time, and I've been a moderator for over 2 years. So I've seen it from the front, from the behind, and as a student. And I've supported many people through. And this is really what Diane and I are doing. We're supporting you to go through this 3-day event and then afterwards. We believe so much in each person's journey that we just want you to simply be successful. If this is your dream to be out there as an entrepreneur, as a coach, however you love to call yourself, we want you to be successful. And it is true. While they call it the game has changed, I mean, if we could just think for a moment, like a year and a half ago, we didn't even have AI. Every time we turn around, every single platform you're on in social media, the algorithms change. So to keep up with it and then to be able to thrive and not look at 80 different places to try to piece and tape the information together, and then you don't know what you're doing, so you just give up, like, come to this event. So in this, in the bonuses, this is us supporting you. So the event, to sign up for it, is free. You can go completely free to Dean and Tony's event. And just for doing that, we want to honor you on that journey. And we're going to give you about $4,000 worth of bonuses just for using our link.
Wow.
We're going to take you through.
Wow. Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
That's a mic drop. If I had a mic.
Hold on. There we go. There's just for showing up, there's one piece called the after party. And every morning after the day after the event, we're going to go through, and we've found this to be very successful. We share our notes, what we hear as top notes, and how do you apply them? What do you do with it? It's one thing to write it down, and it's another thing to actually go execute it. The other thing I've learned from, being part of these events with millions of people attending is what Diane hears or what Laura Lee hears and what I hear are different. What you write down. So when we get together and we share our top notes and the why, maybe you were writing down so you actually didn't hear that one. And that one was important to you. That one was really important to you. So at a $4,000 level, we're going to give you that. We're also giving you a virtual event that we're going to do, a virtual dinner party that's meant to meet you where you are in your business in order for you to kind of jump over some obstacles and get some questions answered so that you can go farther faster. There is an option at this event for you to upgrade to VIP. So if you choose from Dean and Tony to upgrade to VIP, you get their bonuses, but we add an extra $2,000 worth of bonuses.
Oh my goodness.
So
well,
that's $2,000.
I've been in a couple of day event that you have done recently, and your mastermind that the two of you have put together, you do small groups of masterminds to help the entrepreneur. And I'd like you to tell a little bit about that. Not that I want to stray away from what's going to happen with Tony and Dean, but I know that sometimes we don't always have enough time to share all the goodies. And remember the link on the bottom to click to it. And I think it's free. And then you pay $1 for their mastermind for 30 days or something like that. I just forget what it was now because I clicked onto it a while ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And again, like the mastermind platform, which, houses, like you can put up courses, and there's just, it's really all the technology all in one place for you. And it's easy to use. So yeah, you join free, and then it's $1 to test drive the mastermind platform for 30 days, which is
wonderful.
phenomenal. And there's courses and everything in there. Yeah. So I mean, we could speak about this for hours because there is so much in it. But yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit about the
Talk about your mastermind. Yes.
Yeah.
We need more girl power.
I know, that's exactly. Well, I think, I've been in some, pretty high level masterminds over the last few years, as has Danielle. And these masterminds are just so powerful. They're so powerful to bring a small group of people who really are ready to transform and to really dive into their business in a different way. So these are people who are like you, Laura-Lee, working hard on your business, doing all kinds of different things. But imagine having a small group of people who are there solely to support you and encourage you and give you ideas and help you through struggles. And I kind of look at it like my own personal board of directors and advisors that I can go to on a regular basis. And then they're referring people to me. I'm referring people to them. But this is a way for us as a small group, and it's women, to come together and really be heard and be seen and really move through the steps, whatever is in your way, or if you're looking for ideas and you're looking for feedback on your ideas, we've created what we call the Table Mastermind. And again, it's a small group of amazing, amazing businesswomen who have come together to really impact each other and then impact our clients in the world in a big way.
And Diane, I just wanted to add to this from my perspective. I've seen people who say they have a mastermind and it ends up being like a trade show, and there's hundreds of people in there and they're teaching from the front of the room. And that to me is more like a conference, more like a workshop. For us, we didn't want that, because that's not what we were looking for when we were looking at masterminds to be in. It's a small group where we're really, each person is exactly what Diane said, seen and heard, and you get to ask the questions. One question from one person in a huge group doesn't serve everybody. We make sure that we serve everybody at the table, and everybody walks away with what they need, and they're met where they are. And that's the difference. That's the power of it. And we will not do what I probably shouldn't say this, but the cattle calls. We will not do the cattle calls, right? We want the intimate tables because we truly want to know who's sitting at that table. And we want each person to know who's sitting to the left of them and to the right of them and across from them and behind them, because that's how you get the most impact. And this is what it's really about. And that's why when we say it's a small group with powerful results, powerful, big results, it's because we really get to know you on a deep level. There's nothing worse than being in a room and never being seen or heard and not being able to connect.
Yeah. Just because you're going to pay for a course does not mean it's the right course for you.
That's right. That's right. And that's why we designed the table to be exactly this.
Well, I can honestly say that I have a lot of faith in these two ladies, very much. They've proven themselves to be there for whatever. Most of your clients are coaches or business owners, entrepreneurs. They would all be wherever they are at that level, and that's very unique. That you work specifically with each person and help their business grow, not just a business on its own. Like, it's not, like you say, it's not a one size fits all approach that you're doing. That's for I love it. I truly, truly love what the two of you are doing. It's just wonderful. Now, is there anything else that you would like to remind us? And we might have said, it was interesting because I am a note taker. Oh my goodness. I was told decades ago that if you take notes, but you have to reread the notes the next morning. So you guys are going to do that by going over your notes the next day. But it's so true. As I'm feverishly trying to write notes down, which I didn't learn shorthand, I miss sometimes the next point.
Yeah.
So what you are going to do as a bonus for people, oh, that is wonderful, because they'll retain so much more. And if we can retain it and understand it, then we can implement it.
Yeah. And I think I've gone to so many events, as have you, Laura Lee and Danielle, and we go to these events, and they can be life changing if we take the information and do something with it.
Yeah.
So going to these events over and over, and even networking events, or places where, like, conferences, all that kind of stuff, they're great. But if you don't know what to do with that information and aren't sure how to really apply it to your own business, you're spending a lot of time and effort and brain power and getting excited, but has it moved your business forward? And that's really the point of D Squared coaching, is to do that either one-on-one, at our table, even in this event where we're going to be doing that. Exactly what you said, Laura Lee. There's so much value in having people come together after the fact and just kind of say, okay, if I was to pick one thing, this is what I would do, and I'm going to implement this in my business. What about you? What about you? And then all of a sudden, there's the group all encouraging each other and supporting. And now we're implementing. We're actually implementing what we've learned. So yeah, very powerful.
I'm so excited for it. I'm going to chisel out time at my calendar to be there, and to chisel out time, because if they say if we put it in our calendar, there's a much better chance for us to do it or attend the events, as opposed to saying, oh yes, I'll try to do that. So we do know that you need to put it in your calendar and make it a plan, make it a conscious plan to follow up and do, and be present at the event in order to absorb. So do you want to tell the dates again? I know that they can click on it, but would you like to tell the dates for the event?
June 13th, 14th, and 15th is Dean and Tony's The Game Has Changed. And I know that you put a beautiful link down on the left side on the very bottom, the yellow graphic, and that is our link. So all you have to do is click it and register, and we'll take care of you with the bonuses. We'll send you an email, and you'll know exactly what you have and where you need to go. Dean and Tony are going to take perfect care of you, remind you when to show up, give you your Zoom link, take care of all of that. So June 13th, 14th, and 15th.
And the time?
Their event is 1 o'clock Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yes. And it's for each day. How long each day?
Okay, so let's be honest. Let's be honest. They're usually scheduled for 2 hours. If Tony's speaking on that day, we are on Tony time. Many of you who know Tony, and we love him because he always wants to deliver and over deliver. Tony time could take you to 3 hours. So let's be safe. Scheduled 2.5 hours. The cool part is, if you upgraded to their VIP, you're going to get the replays if you did have to jump out. But there's nothing like being at the event and watching the chat and being able to see what other people have to say and asking questions, right? Because we will cover the notes for the speakers, but we can't cover everything. We're not reduplicating the event. So take 2.5 hours. Just say 2.5 hours.
Plus, if you're doing the VIP, it's generally another hour or so after that in addition. I've been at some of the events that have been 5 hours on a daily basis. I don't think they do that as much anymore, but they certainly have. Oh, I thank you for taking the time out to come talk to people and give them some insights about what's coming up, a little bit more about the two of you ladies. And oh my goodness, grab their links. Bonuses upon bonuses that I figured you would have something extra, but I didn't know what they were because I didn't ask. I wanted to be surprised like everyone else. So I'll put this recording up in the Live and Hive and post it in the B feed, and the two of yous also post it in the live feed.
Yeah, we will.
For different ones. And I'll give you a little hint. Once we're done recording, I'll tell you a quick little hint of how you can save time on doing that.
Okay.
I want to say here, on Be Connected, we like to say, be seen, be heard, be found, and don't just supersize your group, monetize it. I also like to say, have a great day and a better tomorrow. Share the love with everyone. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks so much, Laura Lee. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to having you on again.
Yes.
Well, we're honored.